Airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
These are good problems to have, right?
Very.
So much success that you have more than one place to be.
5-3, touchdown, Oregon. Off a dribble, launches, and hits the three. Oregon leads.
What a great opportunity it is to be able to play at the University of Oregon.
I'm just incredibly proud to be a part of something like this.
She wants another three. Oh, three in a row. Oregon is headed to the Super Regional. Big Ten champions, your Oregon Ducks.
We are so privileged and so fortunate. We get to see all these young people. We get to see this incredible growth, which is what college is all about.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
A Friday Duck Insider brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union here inside the Country Financial Studio. Ryan Milano with you, and we have got a lot to cover. Almost every single Oregon sport is in action over the weekend. There are 25 Oregon-related events going on Friday, Saturday, Sunday this weekend. If you're not out at any Oregon sporting events this week, what are you doing? What are you doing? Softball's in town the whole weekend, opening up the Jane at the Oregon Classic starting today. Oregon baseball is in town all weekend for a 4-game set against Columbia. Oregon men's basketball on Saturday at Matthew Knight Arena. Oregon women's basketball is on the road, but there are so many events that are inside Eugene throughout the course of this weekend. Just get yourself out to 1, 2, 3, 4. Get yourself out to so many events that you can get to them all. Try to hit the bingo card of every sport. I would. Except I'm stuck at baseball all weekend. Baseball starting up against Columbia at 3 o'clock. So I'll be running over right after the show here over to PK Park to get on the air for a 2:45 pregame show. I mentioned so many things going on. We'll hear from Kelly Graves on the show today. Women's basketball players Peyton Scott and Ari Long ahead of a matchup against Washington to close out their regular season this weekend. Derek Radley was in studio sitting down with Joey Mack. They don't have an event this weekend, but they do have an event starting on Monday before we will take air on Duck Insider beginning next week. So we'll talk some women's golf after their strong start to the season, and Coach Wadzikowski reviewing what were the first 2 weeks of the season and previewing what is going to be this 4-game set coming up against Columbia. A lot of things to get to, not a lot of time to waste. Kelly Graves spoke with the media a few days ago breaking down what is going to be the regular season finale as Oregon, It's the last day of February today on a Friday, but Oregon basketball doesn't play until March. It's a March mindset going on for both Oregon men's and women's basketball. Kelly Graves getting into the March swing of things. Is it madness? No, it's Coach Kelly Graves talking to the media.
Will you be scoreboard watching this week, or any looking at where you stand in the conference?
I mean, I will, but we're not really rooting for anybody. I can't do the math because I think there's so many different tiebreaker situations, and we're kind of in that muddled middle. So all we can worry about is going up there and winning. I think I know. If we win, then we could be anywhere from 6 to 8. I don't know if we can drop much lower than that. But if we don't, then it could be 7 to 11, something like that. Yeah. So, but I'm definitely going to watch the games tonight. Just got to do something.
You also have, Katie from Seattle, and Alexis played there, Ari played there, Trey played there. What's it just like for them kind of dealing with this week, and a big game for you guys to win in terms of standings and all that, but also, returning to.
Yeah. I have a couple of buddies that want to come to the game. We're out of tickets. So I know that the Fisos, Trey and his family, and many others are going to be there. So I'm excited that we're going to have some Ducks up there. But I think it's you have to speak to Katie about her emotions. But what a big deal! I mean, she had such an amazing career. In Seattle, everybody knows her. when she picked Oregon, I'm sure, there were a lot of people that didn't appreciate that, but she's got a chance to go up and do what she did for 4 years there, play great. And that's what we hope that she does. We hope she has one of those amazing games. Trey, being a Husky, he's learned a lesson, right? You can be loyal to your school, but you're always more loyal to the school that's paying you. We all have our allegiances, but he is an employee of Oregon. But I'm excited for those guys, and it's been a great last few years. We've kind of gone back and forth. We kind of had our way with the Huskies for 6 or 7 or 8 straight years, but it's kind of gone back and forth now. So we want to finish it strong.
When you look back on that game against the Huskies 2 weeks ago, were there things you immediately, right after the game, you thought you could do better this week?
Yeah, those 1-point wins, the 1-point losses, there's a lot you can think of. But, we weren't particularly great, and they weren't either. I thought we did a poor job of allowing Delia Daniels just to straight line drives to the basket. Sellers played a great game. I mean, she's a load. She's a really good player, but we allowed her to score way too many easy opportunities. And, it's one of those games that we've had where we decide late, okay, we better put our foot down and stop these guys. We can't do that now. We've got to do it right from the beginning. So, definitely some things, that we can get better at.
How important was that game just to kind of getting you guys righted? Because it would have been 4 consecutive losses. Peyton had just gotten hurt. It kind of felt like things were maybe going in one direction. And then Deja finishes so strong. You guys rattle off some wins, and here we are. Like, just how much of a, inflection point did that game in those last couple minutes do?
Well, ultimately proved to be big, sure. I mean, number one, you beat your rival. Number two, you beat them late. Those can be daggers, that you carry those a lot longer than you do a 30-point blowout like we had a couple of nights earlier against Maryland. But it proved to be a big win. And since then, we've played really well. What are we, 3 out of 4, and with an overtime loss to an NCAA tournament team on the road. So we've actually played quite well.
Obviously, you guys have seen a significant improvement over last season. I know, obviously, part of it is you have a very different team than you had last year. What would you say Peyton Scott's leadership role has done for you guys to get to where you are this year?
Well, Peyton's a big part of who we are as a team and as a program. She's a warrior. She's a gamer. Competes, leads. She does all the things that you need a player to do, especially a senior. I mean, she's like 30, so she's been around a long time. Had her birthday yesterday, so hopefully this will be a great weekend for her. I mean, she just means a ton. I love her personally. I mean, she's just great to be around. She just, she's kind of a coach's dream, a teammate's dream. Does everything right, and this is the time we really need her to step up, and I am completely confident that she will. She's meant for these kind of moments and this time of year. She's never been to an NCAA tournament before, so this hopefully will be a great experience for her, something she'll remember forever.
How close were you guys? You guys were pretty concerned she might be done for the year, like a month ago, and how she's scoring double digits the last couple of games. What does that mean from just uplifting the team? The fact that you might lose one of your top scorers, and not only is she back, but she's starting to play kind of like how she had before that.
Yeah, well, it's Peyton Scott for you. I mean, that's who she is. She's just tough. She wants to play. She wants to be out there. We weren't kind of making that up. I mean, she is hurt, and it's one of those situations at the end of the year you see it all the time. Oh, well, she played on a torn MCL or whatever the case may be, on a broken ankle or whatever. I wouldn't be surprised at the end of the year somebody says something like that. By the way, the last 2 months of the season she was playing with this issue. But now she's just a competitor, and that's who she is.
That Washington game was kind of a big inflection point for Deja too. I think she scored in the last 9 or 7 points of that game, and has scored. I think she's averaging over 20 the last 4. How important? I know her floor game has been consistent throughout the season, but has that shooting been just the last 4 games?
Makes us a different team. There's a reason our offense is clicking better now. You know, she's making shots. She's making tough shots. She's making go-to shots, shooting the 3 better. I'm glad you mentioned her all-around game. You know, her efficiency numbers are way up. Her assist-to-turnover ratio is above a 2-point or 2 to 1. It's barely been a 1 to 1 her whole career. Her 2-point shooting percentage is better than it's ever been. Her rebound, she's averaging more rebounds than she ever has. So her overall game is better. She just hasn't been scoring. Well, now she's starting to score, and you know, and we've needed it on most nights. But it also is a calming effect. You know, okay, Deja's on. Let's get her the ball. Late in the game, she had 4 ISOs against Washington. Went 4 for 4 on isolations. It's pretty efficient. That's about as good as you can get. So that's what she's given us, and I think because of that, with the guard play we're really starting to get, I think we've got a chance to be pretty tough out when it gets into tournament time. Whatever tournament we're in, you know, we've got the guard play.
How do you feel like this team is handling these circumstances of being in this moment? I mean, going into the year, the goal was to be in a spot like this where you could make an NCAA tournament run. How do you think the team is handling all of what's there, you know, kind of around them over these next week or so that'll determine what their fate is ultimately?
Yeah, I think they've handled it really well. I love our experience. We have guards that are older, and so they understand, and they're working with the younger kids, and you know, because our young players haven't experienced, you know, this kind of late season, you know, these late season opportunities that we have. So I think that's a big part of it. They're really competitive. They've handled it well. You know, we knew what our goals were right at the start of the season, and they've worked their butts off to put us in a position to achieve those goals. You guys, I've been really impressed with how we've played on the road. I mean, to have split all these road trips, that is not easy. You know, but 4 wins on the road. We have a chance to have a winning record on the road in the Big Ten with this win on Sunday. That's pretty neat. So Mick Cronin was on to something in his rant. It's real. It's real. And we've lost the second game in 3 of the 4 trips because it does get long. The 2 days in between, we're so used to the 1 day with the Pac-12, and now to have 2 days. It's nice in that you can get to the new location and relax. You don't have to spend that day in between prepping for the next game. It comes on you so quick. The downside is you're in a hotel a lot longer. You're on that plane a lot longer. Those eggs that aren't really eggs that you have every morning, they become worse and worse by the end of the week. It's like, God, I cannot see. You know, and then the hotel, they do the best they can. It's not their job to, but, you know, you have waffles one day and then you have pancakes in it. It's the same damn thing, just in another form. So it gets old. It really does. You try to keep your team fresh, but, you know, you get those hotel legs by the end of the trip. So he really is on to something. And we've traveled more than anybody in the league, us in Washington. You know, even the LA's only had to go cross country 3 times because they came up here. You know, we had to do it 4 times.
You probably haven't had time to obviously reflect because there's so much more to accomplish this season. But what have been kind of outside of the travel, been the biggest differences between playing in the Big Ten now that you're through the legacy Big Ten team?
Yeah, the crowds, I think, have been a lot different. You know, we're like 17th in the country in attendance, and we're like 7th in the Big Ten. I mean, you know, everywhere you go, they have great crowds and student sections, bands. You know, they're really into it. And, you know, there were times when you'd go to even Maples Pavilion and play in front of a couple thousand, and the LA's sometimes, you know, you could count the number of people there. It was just different. That, I think, is the biggest difference. The weather. I don't think we saw 0 degrees at any point on this last trip. I mean, that would have been the high. There you go. And so, you know, we talk about being in a hotel. That's a real thing. You can't go outside. You know, it's not like you can go for a walk or anything like that. So you're kind of sequestered, and it makes it difficult. Really does. Yeah, we came back. What was that? Nebraska was our last game, so we flew. What is that about? It ended up being a 3.5, 4 hour trip. I looked out the window. It was a clear day. You know, we're in a deep freeze across the whole country. I looked out the window every 2 or 3 minutes. There was nothing but snow. The entire trip, nothing but snow. Not even a pocket here or there. You saw a brown mountain, nothing. White, white, white until you got over the Willamette Valley. And it was 60 degrees here. It was so nice. It felt like 100 compared to what we'd been. So I was, kidded the team. Eugene's not looking so bad now, is it? After that Minneapolis and Omaha trip.
It's a recruiting angle for you.
Yeah, exactly. Did you see USC put that little tweet out with all the temperatures of all the other Big Ten cities? Yeah, we might have to do that. Who would have thunk? Eugene, we're the warm spot.
Kelly Graves wasn't kidding. That weather he was talking about a few days ago, it's still happening outside, which means it's a perfect weekend to open up Jane Sanders Stadium at the Oregon Classic. Games already going on. Non-Oregon games, the Oregon games at the Jane will start later today. Starting at 3:30 is the projected start time for Oregon's home opener against San Diego. A lot of games going on at the Jane. Oregon's playing in 5 of them this week. A whole bunch of different games going on in the Oregon Classic tournament at Jane Sanders. Also, 4 games at PK Park this weekend. Hoping to continue what Kelly Graves was talking about at the back end of that interview, brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Better cancer care close to home. Kelly Graves met with the media. So did some players. Talking with Ari Long and Peyton Scott when we return on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I want you to know. I said I want you to know right now. You've been good to me, baby. Better than I've been to myself.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ryan Milano with you here on a Friday. Big weekend in Oregon athletics coming up, including the regular season finale for Oregon women's basketball. Just heard Coach Kelly Graves previewing the matchup. Well, now Ari Long, Peyton Scott previewing what is going to be a regular season finale on Sunday at 2 o'clock up in Seattle against Washington. Let's hear from the players.
All right, have you thought at all about what it's going to be like playing your old team? Is that something that's What does that mean? I guess you already played them this year. About being up there and what that'll be like.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll just be another game. It'll definitely be weird. Obviously, I was there for a whole year, but yeah, I played them once. Obviously, I love the girls, but at the end of the day, when we step on the court, it's the same as the rest of them.
There's a lot of folks on the team that are connected to Seattle or that program. You know, Alexis played there, Katie's from Seattle, Trey played up there.
Mm-hmm.
What's that kind of like that, you know, there's a lot of you with connections that plays going back up there trying to kind of separate that with an important basketball game?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be a special game. Obviously, Katie's from up there, so she'll have a lot of family there in Trey. So I think, if anything, it'll be nice because we'll have some families and stuff. I know my whole family's going to be up there as well. So I think it'll just be a fun environment for sure, just a good competitive basketball game.
This game, it really means a lot. And I guess just reflect on the fact that you're in a situation where winning or losing this game may impact NCAA tournament chances and just the significance of being in a place where you have that opportunity to play a game and multiple games going forward that have that kind of stakes.
Yeah, I think we all know what's at stake going up there. But at the end of the day, we're going to prepare the same way and treat it like the rest of the game. Just come out and not make it too big to where like we get anxious and nervous about what it, where it could place us, not only in the Big Ten tournament, but in March Madness as well. But just understanding that it is an important game and we need to be locked in and focused on the game plan when we go up there.
Is there anybody on the roster that's like a bracketologist that like is really on top of like seedings for conference tournament or NCAA tournament, or most of you guys just?
I mean, yeah, like I keep up with it. Like I know we could go from like 6 to 10 right now, and then I've seen like the bracketology for March Madness that we're like a 9 or a 10 seed, and we've been literally I think in like 2 or 3 different regions, just so we're just gonna prepare the same and knowing like we can control this game, but we can't control after that. So just taking care of business and understanding that. It could go a lot of different ways, but we can control our own destiny right now.
Yeah, when you go into like game mode or practice mode, I'm sure you're focused on details, things like that. But how fun is it too to just be on your phone and be looking at a bracket projection that says Oregon? I'm
not gonna lie, it's pretty cool for me. Like I've never played. I've actually never played in a postseason tournament. Not even a league, because my freshman year we had COVID, and then after that they cut it down. So basically only I think top 8 teams went, and we were always on that bubble and just never made it. And I've never played in March Madness, so yeah, it's pretty cool to see that. And obviously you're trying to zoom in and look and see Oregon. So for me, it's really cool, pretty special.
Do you think, Ari, is that something that the team is kind of, not specifically necessarily Peyton, but just the fact that a lot of you guys haven't played in these big moments and just trying to get to that? Does that feel like a carrot kind of at the end of the season here?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we want to play for as long as we can, into March. And like she said, I've never been to a March Madness either. And it's kind of crazy because growing up, you always make the brackets and go and play and watch. So I think it's just a crazy opportunity that we're in right now because we got a chance to go a long way.
Ari, how are you guys kind of using this week? You have the week off, between the Rutgers game and the Washington game and then the conference tournament and then you're playing almost every single day. How are you kind of using this week to get ready for this last kind of run?
Yeah, I think, we're just practicing hard and focusing on the little details. I know in postseason, those are the things that really matter. Obviously, we've been playing a bunch of games now, so just trying to put the little things that maybe are just a little open-ended together, and then, yeah, just working hard and remembering our goal as a team and just trying to execute that.
Katie and her family, and obviously that's she's been through a lot this year. Do you have a sense for how that might impact her at all on this trip? Is you when you talk to her about that, you just got a sense for?
I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's gonna hit close to home being back up there, with the circumstances. And I think the best thing we can do for her is try to keep it as, normal as possible and just keep her in routine. And I'm sure she's gonna feel a lot, and we can just be there for her and have her lean on us. But at the end of the day, that's probably she's gonna spend time with her family and her people up there and feel a lot of it. But all we can do is just make sure we're there for her and just try to keep it as everyday normal as possible.
Peyton, we were talking with Coach about this. You've had your fair share of injuries, obviously, both last year and this year. So after all you've been through, what does it mean to be on a team that's where you guys are right now and looking towards a tournament like this?
Yeah, it's a huge blessing. One that, once you go through those injuries and endure some hardship, you just continue to grow and understand that, it can be taken away from you any day. So just being grateful, being present, and just, extremely grateful to be on this team with these girls. I love them and know that the end is coming, it is near, but, just continue to play for them. But yeah, just super grateful, super blessed.
How do you answer Coach's charge that you turned 30 yesterday?
I'm gonna just leave that be. I'm getting there. It feels weird. I turned 24. It's kind of weird to say. Still feel like a little kid. So, age is just a number. I believe that.
You're here.
We haven't talked to you, I don't think, Peyton, really much about the injury, and I know you're maybe not comfortable getting into the details, but just what were the emotions around this season and whether or not you could play and not play, and can you just kind of take us into what was going on with you personally in that kind of period of time, if you're comfortable?
Which one? When I was out this year?
This year, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just like you said, I've had a lot of minutes on the body, a lot of wear and tear on the body, so some of the instances was just, we know we were going to go into postseason and, what's kind of not worth it, but where can you kind of give and take? And I, again, we talk about depth all year, knowing that the next person's going to step up and, it's not the same as last year. So with this year, it's just, being cautious to a fault, kind of to a point. And then kind of towards the end there, we were just waiting to get that brace for just more like reassurance for me. And after that, it's been good. Everything's been good and healthy as it can be.
Ari, Coach was talking about Peyton's toughness coming back from the injury last year and then dealing with the situation in midseason. What was your perspective on just like kind of her toughness, character, what's allowed her to come back in the manner she has?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, obviously Scotty's just an inspiration. She, it takes a lot to get her out, so I know obviously when she's out she has to be, but yeah, it's just a testament to her toughness and just her want to be on the floor for us, for her teammates, and obviously she's, one of the best leaders I've seen in the game, and I'm just grateful to play under her and just be able to watch that and take that, for my journey and like learn from it. And I think I'm just grateful to have her, and she's amazing and she works hard, and it's like I'm just happy she's here for right now. So yeah.
You feel like you're kind of, I'm not going to ask you like what % of health you are, but you feel like you can kind of feel some level of normalcy the way you've been playing offensively the last couple of games in particular sort of stands out, but kind of how would you assess just where you are right now in terms of that part?
Yeah, I mean, I think I speak for everyone right now. No one's 100%, even in the beginning of the season, no one's really 100%, but you can give 100% of where you're at. And like I said, I feel like I'm in a really good place right now. I'm confident, I'm comfortable. I'm just, like I said, that brace kind of gave me more like reassurance and just stability with where I was at and confidence. So going to the postseason, I see no issues coming.
That last Washington game was big. It helped you guys, I think, rattle off 3 out of 4 after I think a 3-game losing streak. And Deja, I think, scored the last 7 or 9 points of that game and is averaging over 20 points a game over the last 4. What do you think about that? Those last couple minutes really helped springboard her specifically and just kind of this team over this last stretch.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about it today about, I think she made a comment about like Saturday's March 1st and how, it's the best time of the year. And I think that's when, leaders really step up, and that's what she's doing. She has experience, in postseason and late in the season. So she's kind of been that anchor for us. When we need a bucket or when it gets down the stretch, just knowing that she's capable of stepping up and she has that confidence too. And we have full faith in her that she's going to make every single shot that she takes, and she's going to make the right decisions, and we're going to be right there to back her up on the way.
It's the last day of February today, which means March is here. Yes, it's postseason basketball. It's March Madness. Peyton said it. Peyton echoed Deja Kelly's statement of saying it. March is the best time of the year. I think I believe that too. All right, got to get another timeout when we come back. Oregon women's golf is having a pretty strong start to their spring year as well. Conversation with Derek Radley on the other side on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by your local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
My son, Ricky, took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me, and I contemplated suicide. My grandson, I was gonna have to be here for him. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe.
Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
Inside the Country Financial Studio on Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ryan Milano here with you on a Friday. Joey Mack was here with you throughout the majority of the week, and a few days ago got to sit down with Derek Radley after Oregon women's golf has had a tremendous start to their spring season. A few really strong showings out on the course, breaking that down, breaking down the team, what's in store for Oregon women's golf's future. They're going to be in action early on Monday morning. Derek Radley was in action a few days ago, talking with Joey Mack. Let's get to that conversation.
Anytime I get to start an interview by saying a record-setting performance, it's usually a good thing. Derek Radley, Oregon women's golf head coach, is here. Hey, so you set like 17 program records in the last couple weeks. How's the season going so far, Coach?
Pretty great, bud. Thank you. Yeah, just really, really proud of our ladies. They've, working so hard, I think, all season, and, it's really starting to pay off. And building confidence is really a goal throughout the season as we get closer to the end. So, I told them the other day, hey, hopefully this gives confidence not only in yourselves, but in each other. So really, really proud of what we're doing.
So we recapped it on the show last week, but to go back to the Allison John Wallace Classic in Palm Springs, a record-setting performance for total score and total score against par, and some individual performances that were off the charts for Oregon women's golf. Just take us back in time. What'd you see from your team to win by a few strokes?
I think it was 23.
23 strokes.
How about that? I this year I made our schedule a little different, and I was very excited about it in that we're going to play a couple new golf courses that we have not seen yet, or me in particular in my career. As you move into postseason, you go and you play a regional, an NCAA regional, and there's 6 different locations throughout the country, and typically those are golf courses where we haven't seen before.
Right.
So as in college golf, you get one practice round. So you get one day to figure it out, and that was really something that we had talked about with the team was let's do everything we can to maximize that practice round so that when we start in the tournament, we're ready to go. And so, this last tournament in Palm Springs was great at Monterey Country Club. We had never seen the golf course before. Felt like we did a fantastic job of breaking it down in one day and came out of the gates on fire and really all the way till the end. So really proud of that.
When you come out as hot as you did, I mean, it was like you look at the stat sheet, and I had myself going, wait, somebody else isn't in the clubhouse yet. Someone else didn't submit scores yet. No, the Ducks were just winning by that much of a convincing margin. So, I say that just to give a little context, Coach. Like, when you come out firing like that, how do you keep it going? Like, what do you tell the student athletes when it's like, yeah, just do what you did again, I guess? I don't know. How do you do that as a coach?
Well, so fun fact, I don't know if you know this about me. I actually don't look at scores during the tournament.
Not at all.
At all.
Never in between. Wow.
So
I don't think I knew that.
I don't. And so, it doesn't – my wife tells me all the time I wear my emotions on my sleeve.
You?
Right?
Never.
So, it doesn't help me. I know they're trying their best, and I'm going to be there right on their side, all round. And as long as we're sticking to our game plan, I know that they're doing their very best.
So do you start looking like midway through the final round?
No, I don't know.
I
don't look at all. I don't look at all. Our assistant coach does. Coach Kalia, she does, and Coach Chrissy when she's on the road, they do. But I am not looking.
I learned something new today.
Yep.
I thought you – wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so –
And can I tell you where that stems from?
Sure.
I think, as coaches, I think, there's so many times when the kids are, our student athletes are looking at our face, right? They're looking at our body language.
Makes sense, yeah.
And I'm telling them, like, I want you to be neutral, so I need to be neutral.
Yeah, I get it. I remember you said to me once that, like, you're not, like, checking it throughout a tournament, but I thought in between rounds you'd at least have an idea of where you're at.
Oh, yeah. Okay, whoa.
Okay.
After the round.
Okay.
Yes.
Whew.
Sorry, I thought you meant in between nines.
I knew in between.
Yeah.
I knew on the course you weren't checking.
After every round, I know, yes.
Okay, so
I
then
will
to
go back.
rephrase the question, like,
Yes.
so the first day is in the books.
Yes.
And you're running away, you came out hot,
Yeah.
right? So what do you say then, right? I mean,
so we do a team meeting every night, usually in our host hotel, right? And we're just then, okay, today's over, right? We're turning the page. And in our sport, as many sports, all sports, you need to be in the present as much as possible, right? And so, we conquered today. Tomorrow's a new day. Let's go get it tomorrow, and then that final round. So, just trying to really refocus on where they're at each and every shot, sticking to our strategy that we figured out in that one-day practice round, and cheering each other on. And it's fun to see some smiles and some red numbers and birdies for sure.
That's the 39th tournament win in program history, the 9th for you since taking over in the 18-19 campaign. And then I want to ask you about some individuals. A freshman in Suvachaya Vinachatham, one of the best names that the broadcaster here gets to say. Individual title, tremendous final round, and has now elevated into the top 20 in the world rankings, if I'm not mistaken.
She is, number 19.
Wow.
So
a freshman, everybody.
Suvichaya's her English name is Hut.
Hut.
And so we've furthered that to Hut Dog.
Love it.
So when
good.
she makes some birdies, I'll turn on my phone. The Mickey Mouse
yes.
Hut Dog,
yes.
Hut Dog. Yeah, so that's her theme song. But just
embrace it.
Hut is she's a freshman from Thailand and one of the most talented ball strikers I've ever seen.
Wow.
We always do statistics at the end of every tournament, and we compare. And that's the great thing I think about golf is it's so black and white. It's like, what'd you shoot? What are your stats? On short game, on our approach shots, or off the tee and putting. And she could even get a little bit better, which is crazy, even after last tournament. So those are the things that we come home and work on, in preparation for the next tournament. But I was so excited for Hut. I was telling her all the time throughout the season, you have no idea how good you are. And she is absolutely one of the most talented ball strikers I think I've ever seen in my life.
That's saying something.
Yeah.
And then you have 3 Ducks that place in the top 4, which is pretty convincing in terms of a team victory. Kiara Romero tying for second, and it's like, well, that's a bad day for Kiara Romero, which says something about how impressive she's been still early in her career.
Kiara has grown a ton. And, she's only, she's 18 years old, right? She should actually be a freshman right now. But as you know, she fast-tracked her high school career to play for us last year, was National Freshman of the Year. She has gotten so strong and just really, really mature. I commended her the other day. I was teasing her a little bit because I always get their yardage books at the end of every round, and then I dot the hole locations for the next day.
Right.
And to make sure they're in the right spot, and that's what we do in our team meetings. We go through and map out our strategy for the next day, and she's got some notes in her yardage book now. And I said, man, I'm about to shed a tear. I'm so proud of you.
I love that.
I said, you're taking notes on your own, right?
Yeah.
But, like, that's part of it. And I think what's so cool is you see in them coming in freshman year, the books are usually blank. They don't write it, but then they really start investing and taking ownership of their own game.
That's cool.
And their own strategy. And so, she's to the point now where, I love to walk with her and watch her hit shots, but I know that she can really manage herself as well.
That's cool. And then you mentioned the coaching staff, too, a family connection for Kiara this year.
Yeah, so Coach Kalia is Kiara's older sister. She, for the first time, I've never had, and we do now, very thankful for a graduate assistant.
Mm-hmm.
So Kalia is our graduate assistant. And then our assistant coach, Chrissy Carmen, is actually expecting a little baby girl, so we're really excited for that, and our newest little Duck member of our family. But Kalia has stepped right in now, so she's traveling full-time on the road with us. And so to see sisters walking down the fairway is pretty awesome. But, I think it's great, too, because Kalia's been with us since day one of the fall season. So, all our student athletes, they love her. And she's been a fantastic addition. She played big-time Division I golf at Pepperdine. She competed in 2 national championships, so she gets it and is right there to help us out.
Makes sense. Talking women's golf with Derek Radley, and we talk about too, like your roster and the depth of the competition level. Karen Surer finishes 4th in this tournament, coming off of a great performance. A little bit about Karen.
Karen, she struggled a little bit in our first tournament of the spring season, and we talked a lot about it. She really broke it down. Nobody works harder than Karen Surer. Karen will go to the Jake, our indoor golf facility, at 6 a.m. Monday through Friday, then head to class, and then come back for team practice in the afternoon. And so we talked about it. We broke it down as to where she struggled, worked on some mechanics to change a little bit of her ball flight, and Karen came out and had a chance to win that golf tournament and shot 9 under.
Really?
And so, for her to put in that work and see it paying off is awesome. And I love how much she cares when she's on the golf course. She just competes.
Yeah.
And Karen has been a huge addition to our roster, and we wouldn't have had the success that we've had without her.
And then you got, again, competition level, the rest of your roster. I imagine competition's still high throughout this year.
Yeah, it is. And we always say iron sharpens iron, right? We want everybody to push everybody. We still compete in qualifiers here at home to make sure that we're putting the best product on the field when we travel to the tournaments. But you can really see them coming together as a team. And, golf is interesting because we never pass the ball to each other. Right? But yet, the teams I think that are the ones that are most successful are the ones that really care about each other. And I've been around, fortunate to coach women's college golf for 13 years, and I told them this a handful of times this year. This is a really, really special group, and I'm really thankful for them.
Seem close-knit,
yes,
to say the least. So you said iron sharpens iron. On the golf course, we could say driver sharpens driver, putter sharpens putter. Okay. What do you think?
Yeah.
I thought I'd at least get a chuckle out of that one. Derek Radley, Oregon women's golf head coach. Now hitting the road again to the Julie Inkster Invitational coming up in California. What do you expect from your team? What do you want to see?
Yeah, really excited. We schedule a lot on the West Coast this spring season, so easy travel for us as we are playing a lot of golf. Very excited for the tournament ahead. USC is going to be there again. They're I think 4th in the country, and Stanford's going to be there, number 1 in the country. So a great opportunity for us to just kind of see where we are at in this point of the season. Going in obviously with a lot of confidence, but still maintaining hard work ethic while we're here to prepare for that. It's a great golf course, Meadow Club, that's in Fairfax, California. Super easy flight for us, nonstop to Oakland, and then we'll head over that way. But excited again, I think, because it's a golf course I've never seen. And our athletes have never seen. So for us to really, go into the practice round with a lot of focus, a lot of intent to break it down, to figure out our strategy and maximize what we do.
Fun fact, Julie Inkster, Harbor High School alumni.
How about that?
Santa Cruz, California.
Yes.
That's right.
That's right. Julie's awesome.
Julie is one of the most distinguished alumni from our high school.
Very, very successful LPGA Tour player.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yes. That'll be fun coming up. But what else should fans know? What did we miss today, Coach?
Baseball season starting.
Yeah,
taking my boys Palmer and Ryder out to watch Coach Waz and his guys, which is great.
Nice.
Big congrats to Coach Missy for collecting her 200th win. It was awesome. I sent her a text.
Pretty outstanding.
Pretty special stuff. So just the buzz of spring sports, is exciting. Thankful to be a Duck, and thankful to contribute to the department and what we can do.
Sunny outside right now.
Perfect golfing weather.
Perfect golfing.
Never rains in the Jake.
Never rains in the Jake.
That's
that
right.
we can confirm.
That's right.
Derek Radley, Oregon women's golf head coach. Best of luck rest of the season.
Appreciate
We'll catch
you,
up soon.
Thank you so much.
I will see Coach Radley at PK Park I'm going to get over there in about 15 minutes after the show wraps up. We'll also get to hear from Coach Wazakowski previewing the series against Columbia. Another 4-game set, 3 o'clock today, 11 o'clock doubleheader starting tomorrow, and then at noon on Sunday. 4-game set against Columbia, previewing it all after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear winter, Toyota can't get enough of you because Toyota's got 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive. And that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Based on manufacturer's websites as of 10/20/24.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear winter, Toyota can't get enough of you because Toyota's got 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive. And that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Based on manufacturer's websites as of 10/20/24.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This message is for Shauna, my mom who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You told me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Whole bunch going on in Oregon athletics this weekend. Talking about it here on Duck Insider in the Country Financial Studio. One of those things that's going on, 4-game set for Oregon baseball against Columbia. Coach Mark Wazakowski previewing yet another 4-game set for the Ducks.
How are you feeling after Rhode Island?
Okay. Things to work on this week and, excited to get back on the field.
What are your initial thoughts on Columbia?
They've won their league 6 times in a row, and they're picked to finish first in their league again, unanimously by all their coaches.
I think it's just 3 games so far this year. Does that kind of hurt how much tape you got on them, or you feel like you're comfortable with what you had on them from last year?
Yeah, they've played the last couple of years.
Just what are some of the offensive takeaways, I guess, from your eye? You wanted to see some things going in that you wouldn't get into. Did those things kind of happen?
In pieces, yes. Our best offensive game was the last game we played, which was a great way to build. And in pieces, no. But
what are you looking for then from this upcoming series for the offense?
Just want them to improve. Their plate discipline improved quite a bit. That was nice to see. Situational hitting improved quite a bit. That was nice to see. And then there's, just the consistency of being able to do it each and every day is something that we'd like to see.
Any changes to the starting pitching rotation this weekend?
No.
After a kind of a tough out for Reeds, how do you kind of expect him to rebound this weekend?
Expect him to be really good.
What's made Colin Clark so good to start the year? Just what are the things in the offseason that he's improved upon?
I think he went away this summer and he pitched in the California Collegiate League. I was able to be productive for him. I thought that was great. Came back, he just continued to build. He's gotten a lot stronger. He's always been a strike thrower. He's always had success in his life. And so he's just pounding the strike zone with all of his pitches with a great mentality is what he's doing.
How does he limit hard contact? It feels like a lot of his in-contact hits are ground balls to short, ground balls to second. How does he do that so well?
I mean, he's just been mixing his pitches and the angle of his pitches and everything like that. So he's just hard to hit because he's got several pitches he's able to command, and when he's doing that, he's really effective.
You mentioned on Sunday that there were some hitters on the team who hadn't debuted yet that could be your best. Do you expect to get anyone back this weekend ahead of the series?
I don't know. I don't talk about injuries. So.
It's your third straight home series to open the year. Do you like that? Or would you rather kind of have some road non-conference games?
No, I'd like to be on the road for at least one series a year. You know, traditionally we've usually played in either a tournament or we have a home-and-home series against Santa Barbara. This is a weird year where us and Santa Barbara don't play that home series, you know, in the first 3 weeks and so forth. So it was just a scheduling deal between us coming out of COVID. But, you know, I mean, specifically the reason why we didn't play any road series this year is the administration wanted us to stay here because of the Big Ten Conference being new and the travel and stuff like that. So for the future years, every single year, I think for the next 3, we'll be in a preseason tournament, and our continuation of the home and home with Santa Barbara continues.
What are the benefits of hosting, though, so many home games to kind of just start the year?
We play at a great park. You know, we play at PK Park. It's a beautiful field. It's awesome. Our guys like to play there. Weather can be a challenge sometimes. This weekend's going to be gorgeous, just like it's been. We're looking forward to it. We like playing at PK Park.
You said last week after Mechna got in that you wanted to use him the weekend before, but there just wasn't time. Can we expect more guys that haven't had time to get in to get their chance this weekend?
The guys who have earned the right to pitch or play are going to pitch and play.
Any update on Toby Twist and how his rehab is going along?
It's going great. Yeah, we should see him. You know, we should be seeing him. I think he's probably about a month out, but we should be seeing him. He's looked great.
You're not going to get any injuries, but when guys do eventually come back, like Chase or Parker or Drew Smith when he's back and healthy, how do you go about adjusting the lineup to bring in some of the guys that you think are really good hitters like Chase?
Don't have that decision to make right now until those guys come back. Then I don't have that decision to make. I'll get there when I get there.
No philosophy on that, though?
Put the best guys out there that are going to help you win a game. That's my philosophy.
You know what you thought of Ryan Cooney's at-bats so far? Has got a lot of hard contact, found a lot of gloves. Just what do you see from his at-bats?
I've liked it. They've been disciplined. He's been able to score runs. He puts several of his outs that would affect his batting average have been productive outs that have scored guys with RBIs. He's taken his walks and he's been able to execute some things. He's gotten a, you know, sack bunt down in one of his at-bats. He's gotten hit by pitches. You know, he's a team player.
What are just the main takeaways you've seen for the two true freshman catchers here and Nikolai and Mabius?
Well, Mabius is the freshman of the week in the conference. Played really well last week. I think he had a great week. Both of them have caught very well. I haven't seen yet Nikolai's bat in game go off, but I think you will, just like you're seeing Berkeley hit quite a bit right now. They're just both really good. We're lucky to have them both. They've caught extremely well. You know, when they're back there catching, it doesn't feel like you got some new freshman guy that, you know, is trying to figure it out back there. Things are settled and very secure feeling when you're watching them play.
Another 4 games coming up for Oregon baseball this weekend. First pitch is in about an hour of Game 1 of that series over at PK Park. So much else going on in Oregon athletics, breaking you down the entire weekend around Eugene, outside of Eugene, everywhere on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Back to the Country Financial Studios in 60 seconds. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
August was born 3 pounds, 9.8 ounces. When I first saw him, it was a whole range of emotions. There's stuff I still want to do. Being a young dad, it's not giving up, it's shifting. I looked through his eyes. I can envision a whole future with him already. To throw the first football to him, give him ice cream for the first time. My life is now devoted to his life.
Through all of fatherhood's firsts, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Back here inside the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ryan Milano breaking down the weekend schedule for you as there's so much going on. On the diamond, 4 games for Oregon baseball, 5 games for Oregon softball, not to mention a few more between some of the other teams in the Oregon Classic Tournament at Jane Sanders Stadium as Missy Lombardi's crew opens up the Jane for the first time this season with a new uniform. First game scheduled to start at 3:30 today, so in about an hour and a half. Also, the track and field Big Ten Indoor Championships going on right now as the qualifying day is today on Friday. The final day will be tomorrow as everybody's racing for indoor championships around the Big Ten. Oregon Beach Volleyball, they're in a doubleheader today, have another doubleheader tomorrow. Dropped 2 matches against Arizona and Boise State, have top-tier teams, top 20 teams, Arizona State and Stetson on the schedule coming up tomorrow for Oregon Beach Volleyball. Men's tennis, they are on the road in Stockton at 11 o'clock. They will play tomorrow against South Florida, and on Sunday, same time, will play against Pacific. Oregon women's basketball on Sunday on the road, regular season finale against Washington. And Oregon men's basketball versus USC at 1 o'clock on Saturday. Wear white and show up as Oregon men's basketball is coming down the stretch run of their regular season. I got to jet over to PK Park. Series starts now. All right, see everybody. Go Ducks.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs?